Blarla. Hello peeps and welcome back to Project Highrise, where we have been concentrating on building a whole bunch of small insurance agencies because they're quite easy to keep them happy so that we can have a nice pleasant income for our slowly growing hotel. This is an office building. We will have a hotel, but we're concentrating on our office tower, but it's in small desperate beginnings and also starting to get worn down. We can see here this is starting to look a little bit worn down, so we've got to a point where we need to deal with renovation of our tower, which means that we need a new building. Now I forget how big this building is, so we're going to extend this floor out a little bit, because what we need is a maintenance office. Maintenance offices repairs broken down elevators. They also do like these amenities here, and they renovate parts of the building. So we can see that it's free to build, which is fantastic, and it costs 125 doubloons a day to run, which is fine. That's absolutely fine, but we do definitely need this. One of the things is that our electrical connections here are running at max capacity. So we have 30 connections and we are using 30 connections. Now the problem with this is, even though we're not exceeding what we can supply, we are equalizing it, which means that these are under quite a lot of stress, so they are actually more likely to break down than if we have more lines available than we are actually using. So these could break down. These definitely a thing that could occur. So again, oh look, there it goes there. We didn't need this one, that's fine. So here we go. We definitely need to start getting this sorted. We're going to renovate. There's 3 offices that need renovation, so we're just going to hit that and get that done. And we're going to have a couple of peeps come to the building to work in our maintenance office. She's still building it. Squizzle Prime's still building it. Good job, Squizzle. Good job. There it is. There it is. 2 more offices need renovation. It gets very expensive, this renovation business. It does get very, very expensive. But we need to try and keep these guys happy. Where are they? Here they are. Here they are. Who have we got here? Who do we have? Okay, so we have Harry and Deborah. So now we like to name the staff that are going to be sticking around after Patreons. So I think we'll name Harry here as Trestle. There we go. And one of my patrons, Deborah here, we're going to name after Pops Latte. There we go. A couple more of my patrons there. Look! Look! Trestle and Pop Latte. Excellent. And then in the construction office we have Sir Lord Gamer and Squizzle Prime, which is fantastic. I'm really pleased. So good. Right now, how is everybody doing? We have all these places that need renovation. Have any more popped up yet? Another office needs renovation. So we just need to make sure that the people that are already renting the building remain happy and don't want to leave. And you can see here that they're getting all run down, and this will just get worse and worse and worse over time until eventually they say, hey, this place is so grim, I am out of here. And this is just an ongoing cost. They'll just get worse and worse and worse every day, because you'll have an awful lot to pay out in renovation costs every day. But it's just one of the things that you have to sort of deal with, really. There is something that can help in, I would say, later game, is that where would it be? Where would it be? Trying to think. Facilities here. So you can build a supply room for your building's custodians. Each supply room supplies up to 3 broom closets. Okay, and you can see that this supply room here is 500 a day in upkeep costs. Right? And it will operate 3 of these broom closets, and these broom closets reduce the accumulation of grime and disrepair on the floor that it is located, right? And this is 63 in upkeep costs a day. That's very, very expensive. It's very, very expensive to have these, and these closets do take up 2 space, so I like to keep it available just in case a floor is getting particularly expensive, or I can afford to run them or whatever. But if I put a broom closet here, it'll only deal with what's on this floor. They won't go to another floor. So yeah, very, very expensive, and they are pretty late game, I would say. So you might as well just get used to the fact that you will be dealing with these maintenance costs. So we can see here that, as suspected, the power has gone down because of the stress that we are applying to this. Now I can't we need one of our maintenance peeps to come and repair it. Where are they? Where did they go, actually? Because this is really, really bad. They're from the copy place. Oh, they're in here renovating. Right. Well, this is quite the emergency. I need somebody down here. It could be that we're going to have some people rage quit out of here because they have no power, although they are mostly going home today. Will we get away with it? I don't know. But you can see here that their satisfaction is falling because they don't have any power. The tenant is considering moving out, so the fact that they're not actually in the room right now because the working day is over doesn't seem to make any difference. They are going to start leaving. This is a complete disaster. Our maintenance guys are doing the renovations of buildings that are probably no longer going to be here, so we're probably wasting money on this. That's a real shame. That is a real shame. Oh no, I suppose we'll just have to see what the damage is. Let's fast forward and see what the damage is. Oh, right. Popped us out over here repairing it right now. We've lost one. It looks like that trestle was just in the process of maintaining that room, and it is now gone. Do I get a refund on that? I bet I don't. Never mind. They're coming to remove the boxes. That's 2 gone. The power has come back on, so 2 might be where we are. Looks like we lost 2. That's a shame. That is a shame. So we probably could have saved ourselves 200 doubloons, 300 doubloons in renovation costs. If that had just happened in a slightly different order, but there we are. These things happen. These things happen, and now our revenue has gone down to 700 a day. Okay, well, there we are. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. So, what could we do? I mean, I knew that these offices we were going to want to move out of here anyway at some point. Why am I looking over here? So what I'm thinking is, this is what I want. Look at this. 31 had a good lunch, but there's no dinner spots. Right, there's no dinner spots. And it's kind of nice that we have these spaces opened up in a strange kind of way. Because what we could do now is maybe move in. We won't do small restaurants, I don't think. Shall we move in? Small restaurants, I think, will need water. What if we put in a place that serves dinner? Look, barbecue food. Should we put in? There we go. I think we'll get them in. Get them in. That's what we'll do. So we'll get that place done. Because look, we now have 27 out of 30 because some people moved out. That is a thing that totally occurred. And we will start planning on trying to get the floor above done because we need to get this lift up here. Indeed we do. So yes, because we know we're definitely in the long term going to want to keep these offices here. And I'm probably going to want to move this restaurant out at some point and put another one here. And up here, we're going to have accountants. And we know to make accountants happy, we need not just a copy services, but we also need the courier services as well. But before we start putting in these daily expenses, I'd like to get the foundations in place to be able to get the tenants in to pay for it all, right? You know, that's absolutely a thing. So that's what I shall do. I will skip a few days and get ready for us to expand further. So here we are, we've managed to build this floor up here, ready to go. We can see here as well that I've just had a bit of a rejig here. So we now down here have our frozen coffee, and we have and we have a place that serves lunch and dinner just here in the lobby part, just so that everything is so. Now we know that we want to allocate space for small offices along here, because we are finally going to be doing something a little bit different. We are looking a little bit closer at our basic offices contract, and we want to see about satisfying this accountant's part. Now the first thing that we need to take care of is the power. Okay, so we've currently got a demand of 29 out of 30, which means these are probably going to break down quite a bit. And let's also bear in mind that each of these cupboards costs 250 each doubloons per day to run. So spending quite a lot of money here. Now we need to put in more. Now if we're going to put in another 10 electrical lines, that would be another 250, meaning that between these 4 cupboards we would have 40 lines, and it'd be costing us 1,000 to run. Or we could go for the larger electrical connections box here. So for 50 electrical connections, and this is an upkeep cost a day of 1,000, so we get 10 lines extra for free, right? Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to pause this, most importantly, because there's going to be no power for a moment, and we're going to delete these. Okay, and then we're going to come back in here and we're going to pop one of these in. And what's nice is it also takes up a lot less space. You can see how much space we're saving as well. So that's fantastic. So in it goes, and we now have 29 out of 50. And that was a smooth 1,500 doubloons right there. But it means that our outgoings have taken a hike. So we're keen to get this sorted. So, well, that's one thing dealt with. And what we can do is run the power line. You know that all these offices are going to need power first and foremost. Now, another bit of an issue, if we click on here and look at accountants, we can see here that they expect courier services, and this one also expects a telephone line, right? A telephone line. So it's getting proper expensive now. What we will do, we know that all of these accountant offices are going to need out of building services. They're all going to need courier services. This one here, okay, which is 75 a day. It's pretty cheap to build. So we're going to pop that next door here and get that built. Come on then. Squeezel and Solord. Or is it just Squeezel that's going to be working here today? It looks like it's just going to be Squeezel. There we go. So we now have our courier services. Oh, what is this? And we can now allocate space for medium offices. Look, we've just unlocked that. And allocate space for small one-bedroom apartments. Look at all these different types of apartments. We'll get into that when we do our apartments tower here in the middle. But we are concentrating on our office tower for the moment. Right, so we do know out of these 2 accounting offices that we are, for Laura G. Lasky and Associates, we can just build this office straight away. No problems, it's in. However, what we'll notice about this other accounting office here is that we don't have a telephone line. And it also needs a greater variety of food court restaurants to be happy. Food court restaurants, I think might be this one. If we popped in randomly one of these here. That definitely says food stall, doesn't it? That definitely says food stall. Okay, let's have a look. If we were to put in a restaurant, an actual proper restaurant, food court, there it is. So, it's got to a point. God, they're so expensive. So, in order to satisfy all these accounts, we need so much stuff. Because the problem with these small restaurants, so these are food stalls. The problems with these small restaurants is they're going to need a water supply as well. So things are getting pretty expensive right about now. Because if we go over here, to put in a telephone line, that's $350 a day for 10 lines. And then for water, for 10 lines, it's $250 a day, right? And then we have to run all the cabling for it. Yeah, it's getting pretty rough. So what we might try and do is say, you know what? We can't give you telephone lines and a large variety of restaurants right now. Let's see if we can find some others that are a little bit like these guys over here. These guys. We really like these guys. We can accommodate you. We're happy to accommodate you. So we're going to give that a go. So let's speed this along and see if we can get more like these guys over here. That would be amazing. This is what I want. Because I tell you, the demands of that other thing is it's too much. And look, this office looks a little bit different. Looks a little bit smarter. It's a little bit nicer than this office down here, right? Just slightly nicer. I like the dated look. Oh, look at this. This PC monster. Wow, this PC is really old. This is a retro. I like it. Okay. So let's see. Accountant offices. Any more that we can deal with? Ooh, what's this? A tax office. They just need electricals, courier and copy, which we've got. Welcome to the building. But who are these clowns? Look, need a greater variety of food courts and a telephone line. Get out of here. Not happy with that. Okay. Speed through. It's one way to deal with things. Okay. Right. After midnight, when your money comes in, I always feel that it's a good idea to take that moment to check for renovations. Pay for your renovations so you know what money you have left. That's the way to do it. And look how much our outgoings is dropping. This is terrible, guys. This is terrible. So we're working on that. What was I going to do? I thought what might be nice is just sticking that back in. Because it got wrecked. Okay. Excellent. So where are we with this? Let's slow down. We want to maximise our time. Cooley tax office. Another tax office. Welcome to the building. Fantastic. But warden association associates? Nah. Again. Gonna limp it along. Gonna limp them along. They do have other designs of offices. I don't know why we're always getting the same. Well, this one they might not. This might always be the same. But there are... It's like it's repeating these. Pretty sure I've seen another design of office for these accountants. Pretty sure I have. Steve? Yes. You? No. Next. It's a slow, tedious process we've got ourselves into here. We can only do one more for today, though, because, again, it costs 100 doubloons to get these offices ready for them to move in. So this is going to be our last one right here for today. Or not. Damn. Neither, but to advertise we now can't build. Now can't afford the building costs. Well, that's a shame. That is a shame. So we almost got half of them done, but not quite. I was kind of hoping we might get half of them done. Maybe we can prep some for tomorrow, though. Apparently not. They're getting really funny about it. This is No, we've got 74. We need 75. No, we're not going to get any lined up for tomorrow. Something we haven't looked at here is media buzz. We've got 10 of these little things here. You have 10 media buzz. Spend buzz on a media campaign to give your building an additional boost. The effects of the media campaign lasts for 24 hours. So you can see here we've got apartments, infrastructure, retail and restaurants, offices, hotels and events. And in offices, look, we can have happy drones, increased satisfaction for all office workers. Fantastic. Phoning it in, phone construction and daily costs are reduced by 50%. Look at that, for 60 of these. Office construction costs is reduced by 50% and gain extra potential office tenants for 70 buzz. And take out an extra loan. We're not going to want to do that one for 80 buzz. So keeping an eye on this is something potentially worth doing as well. So that's pretty much all we can do for today. So what we need to do is fast forward and get to midnight so that we can try our best to fill in the rest. Midnight has passed. Have we got anywhere that needs renovation? Oh no, that's almost all of our money in renovation costs. Damn. But our income has gone up to 840, which is fantastic. So we potentially could probably move in one more accounting office for today in its entirety. That was a lot of renovation costs today. It's not always like that. But it was pretty expensive today, so we're not going to be able to do a great deal here. Oh, but we got lucky. Look, we've got 2 that we can put in. So we've got Eagle Tax Services and Bedrock. So we like the tax services. Oh my goodness, we like the tax services. Oh. Why? Oh, we don't have the building costs. Oh, that's why. But they are lined up, ready for tomorrow. And just to check, we've got 34 out of 50, which is fantastic. Excellent. So we've got another tenant lined up for tomorrow, which one doubloon. Seriously? What creates buzz? Do you know? I forget. Let's have a look. I think it says there, buzz is generated by popular retail store restaurants and by some offices. Okay, so we're probably getting our little bit of buzz from these here, aren't we? Fair enough. Fair enough. Right. Okay. Okie dokie. I guess we'll have to skip until the next day. Midnight has passed. Let's see, what's renovation cost today? 108. Fantastic. Fantastic. So the first thing we're going to do is move in this accountant office here and advertise for some more. And you know, now that we're getting quite close to the list, we might look at some telephone lines. Let's see here. Because the accounting offices that require the telephone lines in this sort of business, the restaurants and whatever, will pay more rent. And do you know what? I haven't paid attention to just how much more. So let's have a look here. See what we're looking at. Because these guys, they're paying like 100, 105. These will pay 141. Look at that. 141. But it means that we would have to put in water and telephone. 136. They will have slightly nicer offices. They will have slightly nicer offices. Don't know. We might try to do this, I guess, without. And then start worrying about it when we get to legal offices. Because when we get to legal offices... These aren't legal offices. Can I look at it? It won't even let me look at the legal offices. God knows what sort of requirements they'll have. So I was wondering, should we do some requirements for these guys right now? Do you know what I mean? How bad would that be? A greater variety of food courts. So that would mean that we would need water coming into the building. And food courts would benefit everybody that's already here and give us more income, right? So these are giving us 43, 40, 43, right? If I come in here and we look at small restaurant space, so we'll be able to fit 2 small restaurants here, right? A food court, 90 and 88. See what I mean? Do you see what I mean? Needs electrical and likes high traffic. Oh, it doesn't actually say that it needs water. Oh, look. Food courts don't need water. Well, that is pretty awesome, is it not? I think that is pretty awesome. Oh my goodness. So what we'll do, look, the hearty takeout says breakfast and lunch. Breakfast and lunch. Fantastic. And pays 90, and this just serves pre-made fast food lunch. Let's do this one, the gourmet Hyde Park burritos. Let's get them in. Now, what this will do is it will upset Filipino Noodle Company. Wow. They're going to get really upset now. They're not going to like us much more. It says we like being in high traffic. We're happy making a profit. Rent is lower than expected. Like, they're like really, really happy. But they serve lunch. So these other two should be okay. But we might put our noodle company out of business. I didn't read what that said up there. Something, it read, oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see it. Now I have no idea. Ooh, so this is good. So this would save us on the water, wouldn't it? This would save us on the water. But it means that we would need to put in a telephone line. Now we've already got the closet to run telephone lines. So maybe we could see about getting a phone line to that. Okay. I'll put the phone line in there. And we'll try and get all of these to be those other types of offices, you know. But we won't build the phone connection thing until tomorrow. We'll wait for some money to come in first. I think that's what we'll do. We'll wait for that. We'll wait for that midnight turn. Okay, another midnight has passed. Let's have a look at this. No renovation costs. Fantastic, fantastic. So we have our little food court here. As we can see, they're very, very pleased, which is great. Let's hope that continues. So now we've unlocked legal offices, which is fantastic. So we can have a look here that actually we're going to be all good for legal offices. That's exciting. But these guys still aren't. They need a greater variety of food courts. They're never going to be happy, are they? They're just never going to be happy. Okay. Kind of feels like legal services would have been the lawyers would have been better to put in first, but here we are, we're doing it. So we would like another food court. This one serves lunch, but we don't really want to step on the toes of these other ones. So let's decline this and go searching for more. I'd like to, because the office will look a little bit different, you know, I'd like to have some of them. I'd like to have some of them. I don't mind stepping on the toes of our little food stalls if we're upgrading to these. And these guys pay more rent anyway, right? So here we go. One serves breakfast and lunch, which is the same as this one, isn't it? Serves breakfast and lunch. This is an outrage. So probably to increase the variety of these, we would have to put the water in, wouldn't we? That's probably what's going to happen here. Maybe what we'll do is we'll build the legal offices upstairs first. We'll build a bunch of legal offices and then we'll come back and put these in. Do you know what I mean? Because these need a telephone line, but they're not complaining about the restaurant situation. And it'll, if we can get more in, it'll generate more customers for all of this, right? That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. So let's pop this in. Build another lift. Can we build across? How far can we get? We can get all the way across there. Oops, am I missing a section over here? There we go. So we'll let them build up this floor. And then I think we'll put in a bunch of legal offices and we'll come back to finishing accounting, I think. Because it seems that our lawyers are going to be a little bit easier than these guys. How bizarre. But there we are. There we are. So we've built this all ready to go. We have paid for our maintenance costs for the day, and we've got a nice little sum of money here. So we're interested in legal offices, and they are going to need a telephone line. Otherwise, they'll be very unhappy when we move them in. So let's do this. We would like to come into here, telephone, and we are interested in building this phones connections. You're building 350 a day, so we're going to pop that in here. And what's nice about these wiring closets is they do electrics, phones and cable television, which I don't think use in these offices, although there might be some very swanky ones when we get to the top of our office tower that we'll use them, but otherwise no. But it means that we can just run a telephone line all the way across here. Excellent. Now another way is that we could do them, run the telephone line to here, get this done, run it over here, you know, just so that we're not smashing out so much money so quickly. But I just like to get it over and done with. So now these guys should be really happy, although we can see here that the copy services, they're getting more service calls than they could fulfill. So that's worth bearing in mind, that they're getting a little bit bogged down with the amount of work that's coming in. But we will move in these guys, and we will move in these guys here. They will be happy here also. And then these guys actually don't need a telephone line, amazingly. And then these guys don't... the build costs on these ones, look, is 125. So these are actually a bit more expensive to build, look. And as such, we can't afford the Crosby investigations, which is a little bit of a shame, but a good start for the day. And how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can get this area built so that we can build a second copy centre tomorrow, I think, in order to be able to deal with demand that is coming in for all of this. I think it's going pretty well, our little office. It's, you know, it's going up slowly, and we are slowly working through our basic offices contract, and also the incremental income is going up. You know, our little tender office building is starting to rise. It's starting to rise. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you did, please hit that like button. As long as you are here, why not take your first step on the path to total coolness by supporting me via Patreon. The cooler you are, the harder I work, which means even more shizwa.